Values in a dementia unit are, of course, kindness and peace, because you have to be kind to work there. But from the dementia residents' perspective, the values and virtues that they imbibe and apply are very much aligned with their Queen's reign, Queen Elizabeth. Patience, perseverance, and peace. Dementia residents are often just a few years younger than the Queen, and her life has gone along theirs. Their history is her history, and they're very family focused and community focused, the dementia residents of that generation. And so the values of the Queen align with their lifestyle, and they love the Queen, they revere the Queen, and those virtues of patience and tolerance and perseverance help in a dementia unit to be able to live there, survive there, and thrive there. So in terms of my experiences with working with dementia residents and dementia facilities, it was a wonderful experience. Their values are so strong, because to live in a dementia facility, you've got to really garner that strength of character to be able to tolerate it. You've got to have that perseverance with the daily routine, up at 6 or 7, right through to 8, no rest in the day, perseverance for that. You've got to have tolerance for the other behaviour distractions and, disturbing behaviour from other residents. And then you've got to be able to be peaceful within all of that, which is no easy task, especially because dementia residents don't have the liberty or opportunity to be able to go out for a walk with the dog or the corgis or riding a horse as the Queen did. They can't go out at all unless a relative comes and takes them out, and we don't know when that's going to be. So they don't have that respite or that opportunity to de-escalate as we do. When you go for a walk and you're out in Mother Nature and you can get the fresh air and have the meditative thoughts as you're walking, so many things can be solved with a lovely walk outside. But not being able to do that, it's so difficult, because they can walk around the corridor, but that's not the same as walking outside in the fresh air and sunshine. And then, of course, when they do go outside with a relative for a walk, it's not like they're going for a solitary walk to be able to de-escalate or calm down. They're with someone who's probably their daughter or son, who's probably wanting them to communicate or respond. So it's not that they can go through their own thought processes and clear their head, so to speak, when someone's taking them out. So that's extremely difficult. I mean, they can go to their room and sit down and lie down or think things through, but it's really not the same as being outside, especially if you've been used to going outside to debrief and de-escalate after a stressful time. Now, the other thing that dementia residents don't have the opportunity to do, and it's very difficult for them because many of them have been lifelong religious people, Catholics, Anglicans, Methodist, and they've been used to going to church weekly, religiously going to church, and they are religious people and they want to go to church. In the dementia unit, they often say, how can I get to church? I want to get to church. But there's no facility for that. There's no church service at dementia units, or not where I've worked. And where I worked, the church services were in the week across at the hospital, at the retirement village. And for dementia residents to go there, initially staff could take a few over there, and then because staff got so busy, that service or ability for them to be able to be wheeled over by staff was stopped, and it was changed to relatives' responsibility to take dementia residents over to the church service. And it's midweek. Most relatives that can do that are working. So dementia residents ended up not going to church, which was really sad for them. The Catholics do receive communion 5-10 minutes from someone that comes in to do that, but not like a full church service. So much patience, so much tolerance is needed on their part. to be at a dementia unit, not having the opportunity to go out for a walk, not having the opportunity to go to church. Both of these means are the way in which we de-escalate our stress, many of us, and not having that at hand, like the rest of the community, not having that opportunity to be quiet in a church, in a place of peace, or go outside in Mother Nature, which is also peaceful, but being stuck in a dementia unit where it's not peaceful, except for your room, which can, for many dementia residents, feel cold and isolated, especially if there's not a warm heater in there, hence the importance of a warm heater in there. So the dear dementia residents have to garner all their tolerance and all their control to manage being in a facility. And amazingly, they do. There was one dementia resident, and he was a lovely man, tall, strong, younger guy. He was exceptional. When he felt his tension rising or his stress rising, he'd just say, I have to go to my room. I'm winding up. I have to wind down. He actually realized when he was being wound up, and he realized he needed to wind down and find his room. His direction orientation sadly was poor, but his door identification was improved with a big orange slick and his name and the room number in big letters. And with that door ID put on, he was able to find his room much more easily, which was good, because then he'd just go back and unwind and settle. When he found himself getting wound up, he'd sit in his lovely green leather armchair and unwind for an hour or so. So that's why it is so important that dementia residents have their respite opportunity in their room with their comfortable chair and the warm environment and hopefully nice things around them, so that they have that chance to de-escalate and reduce their stress, not having the chance to walk outside or go to church. So that these wonderful dementia residents can continue to persevere, to be good citizens in dementia units, which they continue to be. They've all been, the absolute majority of these dementia residents have been solid, good citizens, caring for their family, their home, responsible at work, and big contributors to the community here in New Zealand. New Zealand's run on the voluntary service of parents, and all these people speak about, at the dementia unit in the workshop, speak about having belonged to rugby clubs, football clubs, Girl Guides, Boy Scouts, Be Prepared, Badge of Honour, Boy Scouts, all these clubs that their children would have belonged to, they volunteered in and ran. And New Zealand is run on volunteer groups. And that selflessness of parents, and also once their children leave for university or for work or overseas or wherever, they still continue to give of their time voluntarily to the community. It's a very big thing in New Zealand to belong to community organisations and volunteer in the community. So all that ethos comes through to the dementia unit, that caring and kindness for the community, so that if a dementia resident is unwell, other dementia residents will sit by them and comfort them. If someone wants a glass of water, they'll stand up and get it for them, or ask a staff nurse to get it if they can't. And if there's a new resident coming in, they know how difficult it is to settle when you first come into a dementia facility. So they will befriend them, be pleasant and make nice conversation, be reassuring and say things like, it's good here, you'll like it, it's a nice place, it's okay. That's their way of saying that, everything's going to be all right. And it is indeed, with support, encouragement, and these wonderful values being put in place so people can manage in dementia units. So I've written these 2 books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both on Amazon. Thank you for your looks and your likes and your support and subscriptions. I so appreciate all your support. Thank you so much.